Hey Bessie, how's it going? Sorry if you can hear the leaf blower outside. Nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. But yeah, hey, thanks for the submission. It's looking better. It's looking stronger. So I'm gonna try to isolate a loop here, and we'll take a look, and I'll give you my thoughts. Um, so I think that you should be thinking about moving on to spline this because we got to wrap up so we can get on to the next project, but I would encourage you to hit the notes that I'm about to give you um, as best you can, and we can keep looking at this, but we have to make progress on your next assignment. So let's wrap this one up and think about what you want to do for the next thing. It can be, a personality walk, or it can be like a physical thing, like a jump or a push or whatever. I would recommend finding a good piece of reference of something that you want to do, something that's not too long, something that's achievable with a camera that's pretty still and stable, so that the reference is pretty useful. And then we'll get into the next one. All right. So looking at this, I would definitely spline it. Let me cut off. Okay, maybe here, because here, so here and here are basically the same. Okay, so I'm going to cut it off here. Cool. Yeah, it's cool. So you've hit a ton of the notes that I've given, and it looks strong. You have like little movements like here. So I'm not sure if you have an errant key going on there to figure that out, but all the poses are looking pretty solid. Like here, this back leg moves when nothing else moves, so that's probably off a little bit. And here you can see the pelvis. The pelvis moves when nothing else moves. So you wanna before you spline, let's make sure all your keyframes are like at the same frame. You know what I mean? Where you want them to be. But yeah, cool stuff. So one thing I'm noticing is like from here to your previous pose, like there's not a lot of change in the height of your center of gravity. So I would, maybe you're still coming down into this one to make it just slightly lower. You know what I mean? Make sure it's not the same, to keep that moving in a believable way. And then here, I want to see your hips a little bit more open, so that we're seeing like the front of the pelvis a little bit more as this leg reaches back. A tiny adjustment there on that pose. But yeah, I think looking at this, it looks like you're in a good ballpark place. There's a tiny little like lurch forward on the head neck area right there, and then it goes back and lurches forward, but it's not huge. But maybe that's something just to take a look at to see if you can't get that ironed out before you go into spline. But yeah, really great stuff. Really nice adjustments and work. And I know it's been not an intuitive process necessarily, but this is great. I'm happy with this. So, but looking at it from the front, there's some issues. There's some things. So let's take a look. I'm going to try to isolate a cycle. I think maybe it's around here. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So it like really jumps over here, and I feel like the foot is also jumping over, because if this is where your foot's about to make contact, your foot jumps over here. And I feel like if the foot was kind of back where the previous one was, then your weight would look kind of better than when the foot jumps over to the side. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if like, so there's like this big controller there at the bottom. Maybe that has a key on it, like an errant key that's moving the whole character over, but maybe not. Maybe the foot actually has some translate X value. You know, I don't know, but it jumps over to the side a lot on that one frame, and that's kind of what's causing this huge like click over to the left and stuff. You know, that really bumps. So I think that could be improved upon. I really like how you're rotating this hand, and we get to see the back of the hand here in this pose. That's fantastic. But I think you just need to animate into that, because I feel like the rotation on the hand from this pose into this pose, it's the same. It's the same rotation. And then it rotates to that really nice pose. And when I say rotate on the hand, that's just the indicator. Maybe the rotation's coming from the upper arm. I'm not sure. It probably is, because I'm kind of seeing like this is an extreme. This is an exaggerated drawing, but I'm seeing like that elbow kind of poke out, and I like that. I just think that needs to be, you need to animate into this pose, which is nice. And then you also need to animate out of it a little bit slower, because like, again, if I'm using the hand as an indicator of what the upper arm is doing, I expect to see it kind of still a little bit until you animate all the way out of it. Yep. And then there's some spacing. It's hard to tell exactly with yeah. With, you know, once you get this part cleaned up, it's going to be much easier to evaluate like the arms and what they're doing specifically. But on the screen right arm, I can see there's like kind of a big jump from here to here. You know what I mean? Like this angle here goes in. That's pretty far to change to make, and then it like comes right out. So you're gonna have to watch the spacing on that kind of thing, because here it's like almost at the same angle out, same angle out, same angle out, and then bam, it goes back in, and then it kind of like comes out again. So that's just once you get the cog cleaned up, is something to pay attention to. But yeah, I would hit those notes and spline it out and start thinking about your next thing. Like find a piece of reference and you know, submit it, or if you need to brainstorm ideas or whatever, yeah, just let me know. Yeah, I'll have office hours again if you want to take advantage. Not next week, but the week after that. And anyways, I hope you have a good break, and I hope it's restful, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. All right, thanks.